Thank you for coming. Welcome to those of you tuned in via the live broadcast. We have with us the Honorable Roosevelt Scarrett, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Business and Diaspora Relations, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, His Excellency Scott Fussenden Wood, MVO, British High Commissioner to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Mr. Stefan Kossoff, Mr. Tom Hines, and Mr. John Kane. This week, His Excellency is leading an official visit to Dominica. During the visit, he will meet with leaders of government, members of cabinet, and other senior officials, and visit a number of projects around the island supported by the United Kingdom government. Please welcome the Honorable Roosevelt Scarrett, Prime Minister, to brief you.
Thank you, and good morning to the media, and thanks for making the time to be here. I want to welcome you, the media, and to those viewing via the live broadcast. I wish to extend our warmest greetings and welcome to His Excellency Scott Fussenden Wood, MVO, British High Commissioner to Barbados and Eastern Caribbean, who is on an official visit to Dominica from January 10th to 14th. Your Excellency, on behalf of the people of Dominica and of course the government, we welcome you to Dominica. Welcome to the nature isle of the Caribbean. Even with the limitations of a pandemic, I do hope that you are able to enjoy a bit of what Dominica has to offer and take in some of our natural wonders. Please extend my deepest regard to the rest of your delegation. Indeed, we are honored to host you and your team. His Excellency, our High Commissioner, is leading an 8-member delegation to Dominica. On Tuesday, talks were held with members of the Cabinet to discuss existing areas of cooperation between our two countries. The delegation is scheduled to hold a number of high-level meetings over the next few days, including with Her Excellency Francine Barron, the Chief Executive Officer of the Climate Resilience Execution Agency for Dominica. And just to say that the UK government has been at the forefront in providing us with financial and technical support in the creation of CREED and also in the functioning of CREED. And as a matter of fact, it was the first government that indicated the support when I met with the then Minister of Cooperation, Priti Patel, in London. So we're really grateful for the support of the British government. They will also meet with His Excellency will also meet with Honourable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Honourable Kozia Frederick, Minister for the Environment, Rural Modernization, and Kanalago Upliftment. As a matter of fact, there'll be a visit to the Kanalago territory today. Later today, Honourable Dr. Vince Henderson, the Minister responsible for Energy, will accompany His Excellency and his delegation on a visit to the geothermal plant in Loda. The British government also has been a steadfast supporter of our geothermal project. As we all know, Dominica's relationship with the United Kingdom is built on centuries-old historic ties, which have grown into strong and robust relations, defined by trust and a mutual respect for the sovereignty and rich traditions of our individual states. 42 years ago, after Dominica attained independence from Great Britain and formally established diplomatic ties, the United Kingdom remains one of our most dependable development partners. We can refer to cooperation in many areas of endeavor, to include education, health, agriculture, infrastructure, tourism, as well as support on gender and social issues. More recently, the United Kingdom has provided enthusiastic support of our climate resilience goals. The UK is actively assisting to develop a strategy that will allow us to reduce our carbon footprint, strengthen our institutions and infrastructure, and empower our population to anticipate climate risks and hazards and respond effectively to save lives and bolster communities. Dominica is particularly grateful for the support of the objectives and programs of CREED because of our extreme vulnerability to severe weather events. We certainly look forward to strengthening our cooperation in this area because it is so important to increase our capacity as a small island to absorb the shocks of a natural disaster and to build community resilience and ensure that our people are able to survive and thrive. And I want to say to us also in Dominica that I believe, and Dominica believes, that the United Kingdom has the greatest moral trust in matters relating to the fight against climate change. And I believe that it is one of the few countries that has institutionalized its policies and programs and advocacy on climate change. And we rely heavily, Your Excellency, on your government's continued advocacy on the issue of climate change. And this is an area that we have everything in common, and we will continue to work with you in fighting the impacts of climate change and also reducing the things which cause us to be in the situation where climate change is concerned. And I really want to commend also the British government for the hosting of COP26 and the strategy that was used in its execution. We believe that the moral standing of the British government and the UK people was one of the main reasons for the success of COP26 last year. And again, in the area of infrastructure, Dominica has had quite a fruitful relationship with the United Kingdom that stretches back to the earliest days of independence. In more recent times, the UK has been very present with our efforts to rehabilitate following the devastation of disasters. In the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, which wrought damages to the water sector, we received significant assistance in the form of grant funding to reinstate disabled water intakes, distribution lines and treatment plants, and restore clean water to the population. We thank the UK government for coming to our aid in the reconstruction of Dominica's water supply systems and building infrastructure that is more resilient to disaster. In addition, the UK government has committed approximately £23 million to build greater resilience in the water sector, and there is a tender out, and very soon the results will be provided, and we will see the implementation of a major component of building resilience in our water system. And of course, we're very grateful for this. In efforts to further build resilience and bolster our road infrastructure, the UK is providing grant funding, under the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership Fund, UK CIF, for the rehabilitation of 11 kilometers from Loubaire to Bacatel, linking the city of Roseau to the communities such as Bellevue-Chopin, Pichelin, Granby, Bacatel, Font-Saint-Jean, etc., which will include the construction of 5 new 2-lane bridges. And when completed, this road project will certainly enhance and improve access and boost road safety for residents and visitors alike. This project is expected to officially get underway by the second quarter of 2022. On Thursday, His Excellency will participate in the opening of the Smart Health facility in Granby, retrofitted with funding from the UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. And this project was implemented by the Pan American Health Organization. As part of the Smart Healthcare Facility initiative, we previously saw the retrofitting of facilities in Lapland and Portsmouth, designed to increase disaster resilience and make them more environmentally friendly. And this is going on very, very well. And the doctors and nurses, and indeed the clients of those facilities, are very grateful for the investments. And again, all part of our resilient efforts, working in the British government in so many areas to build resilience against natural disasters. While here, His Excellency and his delegation will visit the geothermal plant in Loda, a project that holds much economic promise for our island. The UK has not only provided grants towards the financing of the geothermal plant, but has provided much needed technical and moral support. And I recall even after Hurricane Maria, when 226% of our GDP was affected, the UK wanted to know whether we will continue to pursue the geothermal project. And we said to them emphatically, yes, and they have been very first providing moral support to us on top of the US $10 million that have been provided. But again, for us, it's not only about the financial support. It is about the genuine care and concern which the UK government continues to bestow on our country. And for us, this is so very important. I am pleased to also note that the commitment received from His Excellency, our High Commissioner, to strengthen the bonds of friendship which exist between our two countries. We are very grateful for this commitment. Dominica pledges to continue to build in the bonds of trust and cooperation that we share. We look forward to more opportunities, such as this week's extended visit. Usually, Ambassador comes for a day or two. You're here for us for several days, and you'll have a very large delegation to bring our country and countries and people closer, united in the common goal of advancing livelihoods and improving lives. And our cooperation in matters of social and economic development, as I said, is indeed very, very vast, and I could not itemize all of it here today because we'll be here for a very long time. But suffice it to say, we are incredibly grateful for the strength and longevity of the existing relationship between our two nations. And finally, I also want to express publicly the tremendous support and advocacy which we continue to receive from the UK government at our multilateral institutions, the CDB, the IMF, the World Bank. You know, you've been a true partner in our development, and we look forward to this continued collaboration. And I want you to say to your Prime Minister and to your government that they have in Dominica a true and trusted and sincere friend and partner, and we look forward to the strengthening of these bonds of cooperation and our relationship. And we're eternally grateful to the UK government. And I think we are on a path to deepening and strengthening those relations. And rest assured of our continued collaboration at the United Nations, the issues at the United Nations which are of great national interest to the UK government, and we will certainly work with you in advancing those very important issues that we spoke about today. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks to the Honourable Prime Minister. I now invite His Excellency Scott Frissadon Wood, MVO, the British High Commissioner to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, to deliver remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Prime Minister, thank you very much for your words this morning. Thank you very much for the very warm welcome to Dominica this week that you and your colleagues have extended to me and to my delegation. It's a pleasure and a privilege for us to be here. This is my first visit to Dominica as High Commissioner, but it's not my first time in your country. I was here 4 years ago in November 2017 with His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. In my previous role, we were here in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, at a time when you were dealing with challenges that were almost unimaginable. We were profoundly shocked by what we saw here, profoundly disturbed by everything that you'd endured, but I think also profoundly impressed by the extraordinary resilience that the people of Dominica showed in those circumstances. That determination not to be beaten by the devastation that you'd suffered. Determination that I think you demonstrated, Prime Minister, from the top down. Determination not to be defined by what had happened to you, but instead be defined by your response to it. And that has been a response of the most extraordinary resilience. And that's why for us in the United Kingdom it's been a pleasure and a privilege to stand with you and support you as you have put that resilience into practice over these past 4 years as you've sought to not just recover and build back, but to do so in a way which stands you in the best possible stead for the future by becoming the first climate resilient country in the world. So our support to you has been very much in the spirit of partnership in that endeavour. You've described, Prime Minister, our commitment here. The £70 million, that's 250 million EC dollars that we have provided to support CREED, for example, the agency, of course, responsible for coordinating and pushing your resilience agenda, to help upgrade your water and sewage systems, which, of course, were so badly damaged in 2017, to help you, as you've described, Prime Minister, with those critical improvements to the Loubière to Bagatelle road, to support you in your geothermal ambitions, as you've described, Prime Minister, which have the most extraordinary potential to transform your energy supply and to generate income for the country. To help with your health centres, to make them more resilient and climate resilient. And I'm looking forward to visiting the hospital projects in Grand Bay tomorrow. But also to support your young people through vocational training, technical training, to help disadvantaged youth achieve their potential and fulfil and play their full part in their societies and in their economies. I hope all of these things are practical things that people will feel in their lives, that people in Dominica will see the benefit of what you have done and what we have supported you to do in making these critical improvements. We've done all of this, Prime Minister, as your friends, because that friendship means a great deal to us. It's a friendship, as you've described, rooted in our shared history, enriched by all of the connections between our people. It's a friendship that matters a great deal, but we also do it because we believe in Dominica's vision. We believe that you can be an example to the region and to the rest of the world. And in the British government, we are doing what we can to support and champion the needs, the particular circumstances of small island developing states around the world. We did this at COP26 in Glasgow recently, the climate change summit, as you've mentioned, and we continue to do it. And in so many ways, the experience that you've had here in Dominica, and most importantly, your response to it, is an example to the world, and one that we want everyone to know about and hopefully to learn from. The relationship between our two countries is strong, as you say, Prime Minister. The reason we're here this week is to celebrate the strength of that partnership and to look at ways that we can continue to strengthen it, to broaden it, so that it continues to serve your interests and our interests, so that it continues to make a real difference to our people, to our economies, to our societies. So we're looking at more things that we can do and further areas of cooperation, certainly finding new ways to build connections between our people, finding new ways to do business together, to trade. Since we left the European Union, we've been able to put in place a new UK CARIFORUM economic partnership agreement, which creates a whole host of new opportunities for us to do business together, to trade, to export into each other's markets. That opportunity exists. We've now got to grab that opportunity with both hands and make the most of it. There are things we're doing in the security arena as well, of course, and I'm particularly proud of the support that we give to you and to others in the region to tackle that corrosive threat of serious and organised crime, which can undermine everything else that we're all trying to do. And of course, our cooperation continues on climate change, because we know that threat remains as real as it has ever done. And even as you develop your resilience, we still have to work together to ensure that we understand the risks that we face and we tackle those risks wherever we see them. So I'm delighted to be here, Prime Minister, delighted to be here with my team, delighted to have had such constructive talks with you and your colleagues already this week. Looking forward to more of that over the next few days. I think most of all, though, I'm looking forward to getting out and seeing more of this beautiful country. I'm pleased that my itinerary this week will, I think, take me to almost every corner of Dominica. I'm looking forward to getting to the Kalinago territory this afternoon. I'm looking forward to visiting the Cabarets on Friday with Dr. Lennox Honeychurch. I'm looking forward to seeing so much of what this wonderful country has to offer the world, but I know I will only see a small amount and I will have to come back very soon, and I'm particularly looking forward to the opportunity of returning with my family at some point and showing them what a wonderful place this is. So in conclusion, Prime Minister, thank you again for the warm welcome that you've extended to us this week. But above all, thank you to you for your commitment to the relationship between our two countries. It's a partnership that means a great deal. It's a partnership that has already delivered a great deal. But I think working together, we can find new ways to support each other's ambitions and goals and strengthen that partnership so that it continues to deliver for us both in the years ahead. So thank you again, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your remarks, and we certainly do look forward to welcoming you back to Dominica. At this point, we will open the floor briefly for questions from the members of the media who are present. The Honorable Prime Minister will take your questions, as well as, I'm sure, His Excellency.
Yes, thank you very much, Dion, and good morning to all in this room. I just want to ask a question to the Prime Minister, and that has to do with a grant he mentioned from the government of the UK in relation to developing water systems in Dominica. Prime Minister, could you explain what that program entails? Thank you very much.
Well, as you know, I mean, during the course of Hurricane Maria, our water systems were affected like most of our infrastructure. And when I met with the British government, I drew to attention this particular challenge and solicit support from them in building greater resilience with regards to water systems. They sent 2 different missions here to Dominica of technical experts to engage with DOASCO, went around the country to look at the water system. And we started focusing on the major supply areas and the major consumption areas. And so coming out of those technical missions, we were able, with the support of the British government and its technical people, along with DOASCO, to identify how the funds that the government of the United Kingdom had committed to our efforts in building greater resilience in our infrastructure, how those funds could be better utilized where the water system is concerned. And of course, these funds have been channeled through the Caribbean Development Bank to manage on behalf of the UK government. And we have finalized a very comprehensive response to it, albeit in a particular section, aspects of the water system. And this, we believe, based on the engineering and the design of the water system, it will place us in a much better situation. One, for the water system to withstand the impacts of a disaster, but if perchance it were to be impacted, give us a quicker opportunity, a quicker time to rebound and to reestablish distribution to the consumers of water in Dominica. And of course, this is all part of our resilience agenda, because our resilience agenda, as you know, it does not only focus necessarily on infrastructure, roads and bridges and retaining structures. It is a comprehensive gamut of things, from the financial resilience, looking at gender resilience to agriculture, and so it's a wide-ranging aspect of it. And of course, we're very grateful to the British government for this grant contribution. Yeah.
Curtis, do you have another question? We'll take that one question, yes.
Yes, as it relates to the geothermal project in the Rosa Valley, as you said before, the delegation will visit that project. Where are we? The Prime Minister may want to answer. Where are we in relation to the geothermal? That's been a long-standing matter, several years now. So can you bring us up to the Prime Minister as your delegation heads to the those who are this
Yeah.
afternoon?
As you know, it's been around for some time. The exploratory phase of this was both costly and long in duration for obvious reasons and so on. Then we were impacted by Hurricane Maria. And I believe that the natural reaction of most would have been to scrap this project. But at the very first cabinet meeting, we indicated that this project, the geothermal project, is too important to the transformation of Dominica for us not to continue to give priority to it. So while it has been costly, we have maintained our true commitment to realizing this project. And of course, we have a coalition of partners, with the UK government being one of them, and of course the World Bank that had been very gracious with their support, both in terms of the financial provision of financial support, but technical support and the literally holding of our hands through this process. And of course, like I said, the British government has been very helpful at the World Bank level because of the intimate knowledge of the geothermal project in guiding the process, even at the board level of the World Bank. We have issued one contract for a phase of the project. This has been going on since last year. There are two additional contracts which are about to be issued. There were some administrative issues we had to address with the World Bank, and this have basically been set aside. And I believe in the next couple of weeks or so, then I should be in a position to, on the cabinet, to give the go-ahead for these two contracts. But all of the processes have gone through. And as you know, we had to redefine the project because when we went out to tender, all of the bids came back way beyond the funds that we had for this project. And in looking at that design, it was felt by the experts that we could have placed the reinjection well in Loader and not go all the way down to Wharton Waven, which is where the cost was between Wharton Waven and Loader. So having removed this, it has certainly removed a huge chunk of the cost of the project. And so we believe we can achieve our objective with this. We're partnering with a French company to invest in this project and to manage it first. And I believe that we are we're moving closer to the promised land, so to speak, on this. And with the steadfast support, financial and other support of the British government, I think if we have a partner like the British government with us, I think we should be able to achieve this. So we're very grateful for this. But I think at the end of the day, it would place us in a better position to reduce on the use of fossil fuel in our country, and enhance our resilience agenda, and utilizing the resources that we have to generate energy in our country. And one can appreciate the impact it will have on tourism and light manufacturing, and of course the cost of energy that we currently pay, as domestic and commercial consumers of energy. Obviously, fuel is imported. You bring in the imported cost of this there, and one can appreciate the challenge of this. So it's a commitment that we have that we will pursue vigorously to its end. But we are starting to see the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, and I believe once we get to further into the tunnel, then the light will get brighter. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, for your updates. Thank you so much, Curtis, for your questions. I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for being with us this morning, as well as His Excellency Scott Furseton Wood and the members of his delegation. Do enjoy the rest of your visit to Dominica. Thank you so much to the media for being here, and good morning, everyone.